Hello everyone, Moehawkman back again, and this time I've decided to make a small guide for, I guess, people who don't know how to make too much money in RuneScape, because there are some methods that are kind of annoying and boring, and some players, they don't feel like going to the higher levels and doing that. So for some of the most basic methods, I'm going to post them here. So one of the first basic methods is you don't need any skill for this. You literally just get empty vials and fill them with water. They only cost 2 GP. You can do it at the Grand Exchange. There's a fountain right there. Fill them up, bank them, and then just sell them back. You can fill them pretty quick, so it goes for like 240k an hour, give or take, depending on how fast your clicks are. But overall, it won't be much higher or much lower unless you just blank out for a couple minutes and just want to take a break, because it's a very boring thing. The second method, pretty straightforward too. Just go mine some clay, turn them into soft clay. Members always need them, so there's always going to be a demand for it, because some members, they just don't want to make the urns themselves, or they don't want to mine the clay and then make the urns. They just want to get the urns themselves. So that's also another method, making urns if you feel like it, but you do need crafting level for that. This method, you can start at level 1 mining and level 1 crafting. Don't need anything else. Makes you around 350ish, 360, depending on how fast and kind of lucky you get with the clays. So it's not too bad of a method. And then, but I think a slightly better method though is the next one, where you don't even mine, or you don't actually make soft clay. You just mine the clay itself, bank that, and sell directly to the G. It doesn't sell as high because soft clay, depending on, maybe sells like 100 to 120ish higher, but overall it takes more time to make soft clay because you got to run back and forth to some type of water source in order to do that, which is why I say you should just, in my opinion, the clay is faster if you don't have the levels to, say, mine Ruminite or Luminite for the extra money, which is also in this guide, which will be later on. But if you do plan on doing it, my personal preference, I actually did, to make soft clay though, I did the method of going from the barbarian village, going to the Grand Exchange, go to the fountain, bank it, and then back and forth for that. Takes more time a little bit because, just making the clay, but it's, and if you just wanted to mine the clay itself, I went to the little mine shaft area, not shaft, but area in south of Lumbridge. That's a decent place, close to a bank, so not too bad. So fourth method is to actually just mine Ruinite, but you need at least 50 Ruinite, or not 50 mining level for this to work. 60 if you want to do in the mining guild, which is where I did it. But it's a relatively slow method, and for the record, I did this at 97 mining on my main account. And I still, in 10 minutes only, I only got like 65, 64ish, if you want to be a little bit more skewed in the numbers. So it's not that great of a method. It still makes you 100k every 10 minutes, but still not the best method, I think. Or at least I think it was 100k, something like that. Might have been, actually no, it should be less because it's like 1.5, something like that. But you make like 600k in an hour or something like that, so it's not too bad. But overall, I think Luminite is better, which is also here. So like Luminite is faster. I mine almost twice as much. It's not completely twice. It's around 40% more. I managed to mine like 110 minutes, which is pretty good. Now, there is one thing about this, is that you do need 15 dungeoneering to do this, because, or at least to do it properly, because there is a bank deposit in that little dungeoneering chamber right next to the Luminite Ore, and that is a much faster method of banking rather than running straight north to the anvils or going out the mining guild, which still requires 60. Or the weird little ladder or stairs to the right. So that's also something you need to consider. If you don't have that, it does slow you down a bit. I don't know how long over an hour would be, but I would assume probably cost you 50k-ish, give or take, because, the higher level, the more Luminite you can get. And then for another method is actually just to make Runite bars and Runite arrowheads. Now, both of those can be kind of skewed depending on how you want to consider it, because making the arrowheads is actually kind of slow. In 10 minutes, because I only made like 16, technically I could have made 17 if I had clicked properly, but it wouldn't have finished within the 10-minute period that I was testing on, because every single single bar item at my level, it takes me I think 38 seconds, but then you also have to consider the slight lag when you try to click into the anvil and press the space bar again, because there is some lag there. So I added another couple of seconds. So 40 seconds for every rune arrowhead is a decent amount of time. And based on those 40 seconds, I did a little basic calculations. Within an hour, you would make around between 85 and 90, depending on, how active you really are. So it's not too quick, but it still makes you a good mill an hour, even if you're not, and even if you're not paying attention well, you can still make at least 900k an hour, because at the current price, arrowheads are always needed because a lot of players just want a quick fletch XP. Now, this last method is the really skewed one. You only can make 5 mil an hour from this if you have all the ores without paying for them. You have to have mined them all yourself. This is the only way you get 5 mil an hour from this method. And also, it only works if you get really lucky with the RNG from the extra bars. So don't rely on this number too heavily. If you do buy it, it costs like, I think it's 2.3k total. And if you do just sell the bar by itself, which some people buy, you only make like 200 GP each. So the number is a bit lower, but if you do get the extra bar, that's free money technically for you, increases your profit margin. These were the only methods I actually tested. I could have done more. I could have done maybe fletching, some arrow shafts, and something other things like that, but I considered those not as profitable. Same as fishing. Fishing's not profitable anymore. Woodcutting's not as profitable anymore. These are the best ones that I could come up with. So if you guys think of anything that I can consider doing in another video, I will consider it then. But as for now, these are the best methods that I can come up with. Smithing rune bars and making rune arrowheads is probably the best method for new players, providing you have the 50 smithing level to do so. So anyways, that's all from me, guys. Moehawkman, peace out.